For more on that, let's bring in Tony Gosling, historian and investigative journalist, joining us from Bristol. Mr. Gosling, thank you for your time. When you hear that 2025 was the second consecutive year of extrajudicial killings inside Israeli prisons, what stands out to you first?
Well, I would also just like to remind everybody, this isn't just happening in Israel-Palestine. We in Britain have scores of activists, peaceful activists, who would do no harm to anybody, although some allege they do. They are peaceful activists, non-violent trained activists, who have been interned in British prisons. Even though they've not been convicted of any crime, they should, under British law, be allowed out on bail after maybe being initially arrested and interviewed. But for years, these people have been put in prison with no proper trial at all. In fact, they've suspended habeas corpus for these individuals. And so not only that, they also are starving. Many of them are starving because they're on hunger strike in those prisons in the UK. I'd just like to illustrate this whole idea of what is being called the Pax Judaica, which is an oppressive system which is running right round the world in many, many countries, particularly in the United States and the UK and European countries, Germany particularly, who are in support of the Israeli genocide that's been going on. So I mean, I don't want to reduce the thoughts about those who've suffered in Israeli jails, but this is not just in Israel. It's like a cancer which is spreading with corrupt individuals in these elite institutions, possibly being blackmailed, or I don't know how they've got into those positions, but this is something which is actually destroying justice in many countries. It's got to stop. So even what's going on in Palestine, Israel, this is not in the interests of justice to torture people. All it does is it brings fresh recruits to the armed struggle against Tel Aviv.
That is right. Mr. Gosling, after 2 years of documented killings that still don't trigger any consequences for the Israeli regime, what do you think comes next?
Well, look, I just think we need some sort of a positive new vision. I think much of the commentary around the world is negative. Obviously, what the Israelis are doing is evil. Torture is evil. It's not humane. It's a kind of master race. They see themselves as superior. I'm not sure that it's really got anything to do with religion. Religion seems to me to be being used as an excuse, but we do need a more positive vision for cities like Jerusalem to bring people together in those cities. I mean, what we've got with the Hindus, we've got Varanasi, which is Shiva town in India, which is their great temple, one of the great temples of the Hindu religion. Buddhists have got Mahabodhi, also in India, a great place, a central place for the Buddhist faith. The Sikhs have got Amritsar, of course. Even you could say the Druids, there are still some here in the UK, have got Stonehenge as their centre. But the monotheistic faiths, I think the really serious people around the world, Islam, Judaism and Christianity, they have Jerusalem. And so we've got to have a vision for Jerusalem, and to push that vision for Jerusalem, which embraces faiths, which embraces all forms of prayer through love and caring. That is to say, we invite all, as we do in churches here in Britain. Anyone can come into a church and pray. And I think we need to have that sort of a vision for Jerusalem, which is genuinely loving for all souls on this earth, especially those in Israel who have done wrong, who know they've done wrong, so they can come in front of God, in front of the altar in Jerusalem, and get down on their knees and ask for forgiveness to cleanse their souls. So we need some vision like that, I think, for Jerusalem, rather than this kind of master race which has hijacked the loving faith of Judaism and is now trying to literally take over and occupy the territory of the monotheistic faiths. And without that, I think without that positive vision for Jerusalem. I think the Israelis are just simply propagandizing their way to, because they are in fact a nuclear armed state. They seem to be trying to encourage a kind of doomsday scenario, and without a positive vision for cities like Jerusalem particularly, which embraces God, that's not going to happen, because remember, there is a war on God going on in the Holy Land, but God will win. So we need to help God to win that through peaceful means and through kindness, and not to rise to the aggressive, evil bait that's being pushed out by the Zionists.
Tony Gosling, historian and investigative journalist, joining us from Bristol. Thank you. There's Rudy.